What's up, everybody? My name is Paul. Welcome to my channel, Improve Man. And today I wanted to talk to you about my recent life experience, and recent meaning within the last few years. I have 19 miles, which I'm going to be driving on the road that I am right now, and later I'm going to have to concentrate. So I pretty much have 19 miles to talk to you through, or less, whatever it might take. So, I lived in New York for 24 years, and I recently, in the past 3 years, moved to a different state, and I'm going to mention that state later in the video. But I moved out of New York for a more affordable life because of my views, because of my kids, which I did not want to raise in New York. And it was a tough decision because right now I'm 44 years old. I moved when I was 41. And I had to start over completely. I did not know anybody in the state that I moved to, and that state is Texas. I did not know anybody here. Just my friend that moved here to Texas as well a year before, but he was, he didn't have a job yet. He didn't know anybody yet or anything like that. So I really had no contacts to kind of let me start quickly and pick up on my income and know where everything is and how to go about things here and all that kind of stuff. But I've been here now for almost 3 years. I think it's coming up on about 2 years and 8 months. And to tell you the truth, there are some negatives as to my father and mother live in New York. I have family that I was close with that live in New York, and I miss them. But I'll be 100% honest with you. I do not miss New York at all. I've come to really feel at home in Texas. The life is slower here. Driving's faster here, so that's good. You got to be careful. I mean, people say Texas drivers drive like crazy, but listen, I lived in New York for 24 years. There's crazy drivers everywhere. And all the idiots that I've seen in New York are, I think, unmatched. It would take a lot. There's a lot of complaining about traffic in Texas, close to the big cities. And I lived on Long Island in New York and worked in Brooklyn, sometimes in Manhattan. Traffic here is nothing. Nothing compared to that. I do not regret the decision even one bit. I love we moved here. We're still currently leasing a home and are almost ready to start searching for a house to buy for our own, so our kids can grow up in next year or end of next year. I'm going to try to see, the quicker I can start looking for one and buy one, I think is better, because with the uncertain real estate market that we are in, and not, prices can climb at any moment, go crazy. Interest rates are still very high. We don't know if they're going to come down and how soon. Looks like they might, with the changes happening starting next year. So we will see how that will go. But I never wanted to live in like a neighborhood where you have a house next to a house next to a house next to a house. I never also lived in an apartment building in the United States. And I never want to do that. I would never live in Brooklyn. I would never live in Manhattan. That's something I just can't stand. I like green. I like nature. I like peace. I like quiet. Maybe because of me being over 40. But I kind of always remember myself being, I don't know, a loner, you could say. But not in a bad way, since I love being with my wife, I love being with my kids, I love being with my family and spending time with them and doing things for them and providing for them and all that stuff. But I like privacy, simple as that. And when we're going to be looking for a house, we would like to live, and we will live, in a house on at least 5 acres. House doesn't have to be big. We got 2 kids and it's us 2. 2,000 square feet, 2,200. I think going up at 2,500 square feet is a little bit but much. We're living in a 2,600 square foot home right now, and we're leasing it. The price is, good for what they go for now. We've had a great landlord, no question. But I think that house is just a little too big for us. And it's a 2-story house, and we'd like to live in a 1-story house. So things are moving in a positive direction. And I wanted to kind of tell you about this move and how I feel about it, because I know that, especially in the last couple of years, a lot of people have started thinking, can I move? Can I move to a different state? How hard is it to start living in a different state after living somewhere for so long and being over 40? And then you got work issues and all that other stuff. That I didn't worry about. I've had a little bit of money saved up, not crazy amounts, but it helped me last through, some months. Probably you could say a full year in the beginning. And when I came here to Texas, before that, I always worked for someone. Always, all of my life, all of my working life, I always worked for somebody. But once I came to Texas, I made a promise to myself that I will not be an employee again. I will become an entrepreneur. I will start a business, which I did. And I gave myself 2 years to build that business and have that business be able to support me within the next 2 years, pay all of my bills, and at that time, at that two-year mark, then be able to start making a little bit more, so I can put some stuff aside and start investing. I won't have to use all of my income to pay bills and things like that, if you understand what I mean. So in August, 2 years passed of my business. Now we have December. It's a couple months into the 3rd year. There's still weeks that are a little bit slower, but some of the weeks are like crazy, because in a week I'm sometimes able to make enough money where it's pretty much in a week what I used to make in a month. So it's totally different working for yourself, and if you're providing a service, pricing a service correctly. So that kind of was my journey for the past 3-4 years, you could say, because I say 4 years because the thinking process of moving and preparing everything, and I came here before that for a couple of days just to look around. You know, it takes time. You don't decide to move on Monday and move on Tuesday. It takes a little bit of time and preparation, kind of getting yourself comfortable with the idea, doing a lot of research, as much research as you can on where to live, finding a place to live, and just making sure that is what you want to do. Because I've known people that move after a long time of living somewhere. They move to a different location, a different state, a different country, and they can't acclimate, and they move back. Yeah, you learn something from that experience, but to me, it's a waste of time. If you move somewhere for 2 years and you just go back to the same thing you came from, I mean, you just wasted 2 years. So do everything you can to make sure that's the decision that you're making, that is the correct one. And do everything you possibly can once you move to make it work. Don't do half-ass. Do what you can to make it work. And I think that's super important. You got to be all in. There is no 50%, 75%, 90%, 100%. Me, I got acclimated here quickly. It took a little bit longer for my wife because she did leave a lot of family there too, you know. And it was hard because she was missing her family. But then you kind of realize, I'll tell you, I miss her family and I miss my family. But it's nice to have that peace. And we can always go there when we want to and visit. But to tell you the truth, it would be nice to live a little bit closer. Not super close, but a little bit closer. Because we don't like flying. And if we go there, we flew there once. If we go there, we drive. From Texas to New York, 2 days. So it is some time. I like driving. That's not a big problem for me, but it's just time consuming. So after 40 years old, yes, I did make a move from one state where I lived for 24 years, pretty much all my adult life, to another state and started completely over from scratch, being over 40 years old with little kids, because they're 5 years old now. We came here, they were just over 2 years old. That's kind of my story for the past 3 years, guys. If that subject interests you, you have any questions you'd like to ask, maybe you're thinking of moving or whatever, let me know. I'd gladly help out with advice, how you can prepare, what you can do. The main thing, as a man, as a father, as a husband, for me, it was always trying to make the best decision for my family. Make sure they're provided for. Make sure my kids have what they need. Make sure my wife has what she needs and she has the support that she needs. That's very important. Because when you're married, you're a couple, you got to support each other. That's the only way you're going to succeed in anything. The husband has to support the wife, and the wife has to support her husband. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. I hope you liked the video. let's kind of go on this journey together. I'll talk to you guys later. My 19 miles is about to end. Bye-bye.